never stays the same. It carves a crooked path through the shifting ancient game. The dust of desert stones is rising from the strings. An heavy iron weight that the sandstorm always brings. The cycle breaks at 6 and then it snaps at 5. In the jagged RV where the hunters feel alive. I tighten up the knot and I pull the wire thin. Let the desert rattle underneath my weathered skin. The pulse is uneven but the iron is direct. A crooked geometry that demands your full respect. We weave the silken thread through the thunder of the wall, waiting for the structure and the arrogance to fall. The rhythm is a fracture and the fracture is the key. Unlock the heavy gates of this grinding odyssey. I carve my name in stone while the meter starts to bleed, planting every syllable like a jagged poison seed. The hammer hits the glass and the glass begins to glow. A predatory current in a multi-layered flow. I track the uneven shadows across the shifting floor and kick against the hinges of a heavy copper door. The desert isn't silent, it is screaming in the gears. A mechanical vibration through the passage of the years. I breathe the heated copper and I taste the coming rain. The architecture shatters but the foundations remain. Uneven, but the iron is direct. A crooked geometry that demands your full respect. We weave the silken thread through the thunder of the wall, waiting for the structure and the arrogance to fall. The rhythm is a fracture and the fracture is the key. Unlock the heavy gates of this blinding odyssey. I carve my name in stone while the meter starts to bleed, planting every syllable like a jagged poison seed. Begins to glow, a predatory current in a multi-layered flow. I track the uneven shadows across the shifting floor and kick against the hinges of a heavy copper door. The desert isn't silent, it is screaming in the gears. A mechanical vibration through the passage of the years. I breathe the heated copper and I taste the coming rain. The architecture shatters but the foundations remain. The pulse is uneven, but the iron is direct. A crooked geometry that demands your full respect. We weave the silken thread through the thunder of the wall, waiting for the structure and the arrogance to fall. The rhythm is a fracture and the fracture is a key. Unlock the heavy gates of this grinding odyssey. I carve my name in stone while the meter starts to bleed, lancing every syllable like a jagged poison seed. a broken hand. Sift the gravel from the gold. Walking on this piece of shifting land. Keeping what the spirit needs to hold. Oh, no more mazes in the hollow space. No more puzzles in the air. I can see the hunger in your face. I can feel the answer there. The ground is shifting underneath my feet, but I am anchored to the sound. Where the silence and the fever meet. You're the only grace I ever found. I am tethered to rise and fade. Let the foundation drift away. Calling out the shadow of a name to find a reason for the day. Simple like some map, the open road. Nothing left to hide behind. Walking with the light alone in the chapel of a I am tethered to the ripening flame. Let the foundation drift away. Oh, calling out the shadow of a name to find a reason for the day. Simple like the map, the open road. Nothing left to hide behind. Walking with the light alone in the chapel of our mind. I am tethered to the rising flame. Tethered to the rising. Let the foundation drift away. Falling down the shadow of a name. To find the reason for the day. Simple lines to map the open road. Desert sands reclaim the iron geometry of the city. Carving paths through the calculus of an ancient pity. The old vibrates against the sternum of the ghost. A wooden ribcage singing to a forgotten coast. I dismantle the structure piece by jagged piece. Searching for the friction where the static finds release. The meter breaks like glass beneath the heavy boot. Tearing out the logic from the very root. Geometric shadows lengthen across the sad strings. The weight of the copper sky is what the metal brings. I pull the thread until the tapestry begins to fray. Calculated silence in the middle of the gray. Every syllable is shard of a broken lens. Focus in the fire where the linear world ends. The pulse gives a beat and finds a jagged home in the hollow spaces of the shattered chrome. The scale ascends beyond the human reach, tearing through the lessons that the elders teach. A singular pitch that splits the dry air, stripping the consciousness completely bare. This is the sound of the machine coming apart. The ghost in the wiring seeking the heart. The melody curves like a blade in the sun, counting the damage before we are done. Rising higher until the frequency burns, taking the lessons the traveler learns in the wreckage of the measure in the frame. That can remain of the original name. I weave through the ruins of the calm in time, searching for the mountain that I refuse to climb. The flow is a serpent in the garden of lead, feeding on the phrases that were never said. Deconstruct the temple in the market square, breathe in the dust of the electric glare. The technical precision of a falling star, showing exactly how fractured we are. A scale ascends beyond the human reach, tearing through the lessons that the elders teach. A singular pitch that splits the triad, stripping the consciousness completely bare. the sound of a machine coming apart. The ghost in the wild wind seeking the heart. The melody curves like a plague in the sun, counting the damage before we are done. Rising higher until the frequency burns, taking the lessons the traveler learns. In the wreckage of the last show in the frame, nothing remains of the original name. Nothing remains of the original name.
Iron teeth grinding on the void, fractured bone within the machine. Stuttering weight of a collapsed star, void pulse, mechanical rot. The gravity snaps. Thall, total dissonance. Crushing the skull of time. Thall, take to titanize. Crushing the skull of time. Thall. Gears of madness turning inward.
scratches on a copper plate. The logic fails beneath the heavy weight. The siren screams inside a hollow shell. A simple story that the madmen tell. 1,000 gears are turning out of sync. I stand upon the jagged broken break. No complex riddles in the script today. Just plainest words to sweep the noise away. My throat is raw, but the path is clear. The static rises, but I will not fear. I cut the fabric of the tangled sound until the naked truth is finally found. Hold the line and watch the shadow fall. One single voice against the concrete wall. Let the thunder crash and lightning strike. The hammer hits exactly what I like. The frantic drums are kicking down the door. A tidal wave upon the basement floor. I keep my cadence steady and severe while every system fails around us here. Ignore the clutter of the frantic mind. Leave every tangled metaphor behind. The dirt is real and the blood is cold. A primary color that is brave and bold. My throat is far, but the path is clear. The static rises, but I will not fear. I cut the fabric of the tangled sound until the naked truth is finally found. Hold the line and watch the shadows fall. One single voice against a concrete wall. Let the thunder crash and lightning strike. The hammer hits exactly what I like. Static grit, cold iron bind, down. Teeth on the wire, fractured pulse, down. Thall, mechanical weight, the severing. Thall, Thall, absolute zero, the severing. Clockwork rot, nerve spark, no. Pressure builds, bone snap, down. Thall, mechanical weight, the severing. Thall, Thall, absolute zero, the severing. Internal feedback, digital slaughter. The geometry of pain, collapse, collapse. 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 Thall, mechanical weight, the severing. Fall, fall, absolute zero, the severing. Thall,
Mechanical weight, the severing soul. Absolute zero, the severing. Clockwork rise. Nerves spark. Null. Pressure builds. Oh, snap. Down. Thall. Mechanical weight, the severing Thall. Absolute zero, the severing. Internal feedback, digital slaughter, the geometry of pain. Collapse. 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 Go! Mechanical weight, the severing fall. Absolute zero, the severing fall. Mechanical weight, the severing fall. Absolute zero, the severing go.
سكت في رهب العدم تدعو مرارة اللذة ويكسر الألم لا مكان لكم في هذا العالم الضرب سواء تحت الدم أو نيران الغضب زلزال عاتي الدمار حصونكم الواني يحتم أحلامكم ونفوس الخاينة صرخات المدار يتمسك ردة تسكون في عروضنا يجري جوني خم كل ممنون نحن بعد الذي لا هدى أبدا نحن العسف اللي تبعي احتداء أنصوا إلى هدير هنجرنا الثار التمام كودنا ستدرعوكم حياة اسمعوا دوري رصاص في كل كلمة نحن النور الذي ينبثق من الظلمة فقط هديدية نصيب الفضل محتوم فوق التدعافة والموت المسموم لا تجعل الكسار في ساعة البغاء نحن الصوت اللي يجعل كل من منطقة بضلوا بصلبة بس كلفوا ده شديد كل نوضة من الحانة تعنا غائرة في صدر كله بالهدية جائرة لما الله ده علي في عروق نسان سنحرق كل شبر ساكن الطغيان نظروا الوجود غالك في الخوف بينما أنا لك سعر حوض السيف بكل خوف كلمتنا نصلحها ليقطع النفس يسحيك الكبرياء ويدعو الشموخ الناس على لكم لنتسم امام هذا الهدير نهايتكم تضحنت وهذا هو المصير الفجار رشيد في رحم الوقود تضحكم بسبب كيفك هذا القيود استعدوا لمواجهة الجحيم المستعار فلا مفر من غضبنا ولا مستقر اسمعوا دوري الرصاص في كل كلمة نحن النور الذي ينبثق من الظلمة بقبضة هدية فيكم قدر المختوم فوق التعامل والموت المسموم لا تجعل انكسار في ساحة الوطن نحن الصوت اللي يجعل طول من الفخار المحتوم فوق التعافي والموت المسموم لا ترجع لنكسر في ساحة الوطن نحن الصوت اللي يجعل كل من الكفر
The back of my throat while the incandescent bulb pumps at 60 hertz precisely. I can count every decimal dancing in the cone of yellow glare. The floorboards are vibrating with the pulse of a passing freight train. Miles away but tectonic in the hollow of my chest cavity. My fingertips are mapping the microscopic grain of the blind table. A sudden leak of sodium light bleeds through the heavy velvet. The friction of my shirt sleeve sounds like a landslide of shell. My pupils are pinprick struggling to filter the onslaught of 1,000 separate data points screaming for my attention. The refrigerator's compressor kicks in with the metallic shudder, and the smell of ozone rises from the freight coat of the toaster. This is the threshold where the sensory apparatus breaks down. The kinetic energy of a single becoming a heavyweight as a nerve ending is alive by a flashing in the dark. The sheer density of this thing is an uncontainable frequency. I am vibrating at the pitch of an elapsing star, overwhelmed by the granular texture of the immediate now. In the lab they call it the lead frost effect on a porcelain skin, where heat is so absolute the liquid skips on a cushion of steam. I am hovering just above the surface of this crushing reality, watching the way the like spilled ink.
The ticking of the wall clock is a rhythmic hammer to the temple. Each second expanding into a cavernous all of mirrors.
I can hear the capillaries bursting in the whites of my eyes.
Salt on my skin, taste stagnation, try to seep it.
Out of the wind is raking the gravel with obsessive fingers.
The spectrum of the sunset is a bruise of violet ochre. My brain is a switchboard with every single life flickering red, a frantic telegraph sending signals to a goldation. The sexual when the sensory apparatus breaks down. The kinetic energy of a single moment stomach got heavyweight. Every nerve ending, every live wire thrashing in the dark. The sheer density of existing is an unsustainable frequency. I am vibrating at the pitch of a collapsing star. Overwhelmed by the granular texture of the immediate now.
The scent of the gap is widening under the pressure of the intake. A floodgate of minutia drowning out the internal compass.
The molecular tension of the air is thick enough to chew. I am a little pin, just a forage of the gauge. The calibration is lost in the more of the microscopic. Every atom is a riot trying to occupy the same space. This is the threshold where it's set through me up around this going sound. The kinetic energy, every single moment coming out left me way. Every nerve ending is a live wire thrashing in the dark. The sheer density of existing, every uncontainable frequency. I am vibrating at the pitch of a collapsing star. Overwhelmed by the granular texture of the immediate now. This is the threshold where the sensory apparatus breaks down. The kinetic energy of a kick will becoming a heavyweight. Every nerve ending in the live wire thrashing in the dark. The sheer density of existing is an uncontainable frequency. I am vibrating at the pitch of a collapsing star. Overwhelmed by the granular texture of the immediate now.
Chrome shading
The vast dust lateral is at a 90-degree angle. I watch the plunger descend with a slow and steady friction. The viscous oil migrating through the intramuscular fibers. My blood chemistry shifts its decimal points by morning.
Converting the silence into a dense and heavy blueprint. This is the recalibration of the biological machine. The systematic replacement of the ghost inside the frame. Every cell is a brick in a house that is being rebuilt, while the foundation settles into a brand new name. I am documenting the failure of the original design and the cold precision reconstruction line. Synaptic pruning begins in the prefrontal cortex tonight. Discarding the frayed wires of a redundant childhood. The dead tracks reach for a different chemical signature. As the limbic system lends a sharper set of instruction. There is no poetic grace in the way the bone it's bound. Only the stubborn persistence of the calculated God. My lung capacity is being re-indexed by the minute. The diaphragm expanding against the newly tightened chest. I can feel the ossification of the cartilage in the throat. The vocal folds fit the need to catch a lower frequency. It is a granular metamorphosis occurring in the dark. A flotation collision between the passion and the plan. The mirrors are documenting the subtle loss of soft edges. The drawline sharpening into a geometric certainty. My skin is a diary of dermatological revolution, breaking out in the heat of an accelerated puberty. The ozone is evaporating from the pores of my palms, leaving behind the metallic tangle of a modern anatomy. The laboratory results confirm the internal groove. The old kingdom falling to the new administration. No part of the inventory remains uncounted as the laboratory glass reflects the total change. The recalibration of the biological machine. The systematic replacement of the ghost inside the screen. Every cell is a brick in a house that is being rebuilt, while the foundation settles into a brand new name. I am documenting the failure of the original design and the cold precision of the reconstruction line. Fractures under heavy steel grinding. Yellow caps sliding through the concrete bonding. Steam rises from the belly of the grave. Pressure cooker city never shows up late. Signals flashing red and a strobe of green. Moving like a piston in a chrome machine. Stop, start, journeying into the curve. Testing every fiber of a jaded nerve. The friction sparks a fever in the street. The asphalt ripples from the surging heat. No silent corners in the grid tonight. Just the heavy pulse of the city light. Woo! Kinetic motion ripping through the dark, feeding on the hunger of a sudden spark. The chaos gathers in a frantic way. The frantic gravity we all crave. Accelerate until the gears ignite. The friction is the only law tonight. L train rattle in the window panes, dragging room and pumping through the iron vein. Shoulder to the crowd, pushing past the wall, building up high just to watch it fall. Staccato footsteps on the hollow ground, hunting for a frequency that can't be found. Synchronized frenzy in a jagged roll, catching the momentum of the overflow. Kinetic motion ripping through the dark, feeding on the hunger of a sudden spark. The chaos gathers in a frantic way. The frantic gravity we all
hip cracks, feeding on the vintage of human fears. The clockwork clones grind against the rust as the architecture of this place begins to bend, turning the monuments of ambition into dust, waiting for the silence at the sudden end. The cellar of the soul is flooded with bile, a thing stagnant pool where no reflection lives. The surgeon's grin and the mourner's file, taking back the shadow breath the ether gives. Maggots weave a shroud of twitching lace across the hollows where the eyes once shone, mapping the geography of a ruined face on a throne of splintered and yellow bone. The rot is ripening inside the golden fruit, a heavy harvest of the decomposing mind. The void is strangling the tangled root of every desperate scrap we leave behind. There's a weight that swallows up the light, a gravity of thought and endless sleep, descending from the thick and velvet night into the trenches where the shadows creep. The rot is ripening inside the golden fruit, a heavy harvest of the decomposing mind. The void is strangling the tangled root of every desperate scrap we leave behind. There is a weight that swallows up the light, a cavity of gore and endless sleep, descending through the thick and relevant night into the trenches where the shadows creep. A hammer on a coffin lid, a rhythmic pounding of the closing trap. Nothing remains of the secrets we hid in the widening blackness of the map. This tension, the finite is the only law, written in the gangrene of the dying sun, caught in the grinding of an iron jaw, till the undoing of the flesh is done. Fermentation bubbles in the cooling veins as the ego dissolves in a butterfly, washing away the stubborn crimson stains left by the passage of a cruel time. The maggots are the only heirs to the throne in this cathedral built of reeking mud, where we are stripped down to the white of bone and the bitter salt of the stagnant blood. The light is brightening inside the golden food, a heavy harvest of the decomposing mind. The void is strangling the tangled root of every desperate scrap we leave behind. There is a weight that swallows our light, a gravity of core and endless sweep, descending through the thick and velvet night into the trenches where the shadows creep. The light is blackening inside the golden fruit, a heavy harvest of the decomposing mind. The void is strangling the tangled root of every desperate scrap we leave behind. There is a weight that swallowed up the light. The marrow speaks in a naked tongue, stripped of every jagged thorn, just a steady pulse beneath the land, waiting for the morning to be born. The truth is heavy, but the breath is light. Smallest words to hold the weight, moving through the shadows of the night toward the
chapel of the mind. I am tethered to the rising flame. Let the foundation drift away. Calling out the shadow of a name. You'll find a reason for the day. Simple lines to the open road. Nothing left to hide behind. Walking with the light alone in the chapel of the mind. Drift away, calling out the shadow of a name to find a reason for the day. Simple lines to make the open road, and left to hide behind, walking with the light alone. Was deployed, tearing through the marrow of a static sky. Watch the jagged edges of the shadows multiply. Pressure building in the throat of the machine, scraping at the surface of the unseen. Primal Grit, elite descent, non-linear fury, the circuit is spent. Primal Grit, elite descent, non-linear fury, the circuit is spent. Asymmetric pulses hammering the floor. Calculations knocking at the door. Losing not within the friction of the gear, crushing every tremor of the ancient fear. Pressure building in the throat of the machine, scraping at the surface of the unseen. Primal Grit, elite descent, non-linear fury, the circuit is spent. Primal Grit, elite descent, non-linear fury, the circuit is spent.
The desert sands reclaim the iron geometry of the city. Carving paths through the calculus of an ancient pity. The old vibrates against the sternum of the ghost. A wooden riff cage singing to a forgotten coast. I dismantle the structure piece by jagged piece, searching for the friction where the static finds release. The meter breaks
breaks like glass beneath the heavy boom. Tearing out the logic from the very root. Geometric shadows lengthen across the sad strings. The weight of the copper skies, what the metal brings. I pull the thread until the tapestry begins to fray. Calculated silence in the middle of the gray. Every syllable a shard of a broken lens. Focus in the fire where the linear world ends. The pulse skips a beat and finds a jagged home in the hollow spaces of a shattered chrome. The scale ascends beyond the human reach, tearing through the lessons that the elders teach. A singular pitch that splits the triad, stripping the consciousness completely bare. This is the sound of the machine coming apart. The ghost in the wiring seeking the heart. The melody curves like a blade in the sun, counting the damage before we are done. Rising higher until the frequency burns. Taking the lessons the traveler learns. In the wreckage of the measure and the frame, nothing remains of the original name. I weave through the ruins of the common time, searching for the mountain that I refuse to climb. The flow is the serpent in the garden of lead, feeding on the phases that were never said. Deconstruct the temple and the market square. Breathe in the dust of the electric glare. The technical precision of a falling star, showing exactly how fractured we are. The scale ascends beyond the human reach, tearing through the lessons that the elders teach. A singular pitch that splits the triad, stripping the consciousness completely bare. This is the sound of some machine coming apart. The ghost in the wiring seeking the heart. A melody curves like a blade in the sun, counting the damage before we are done. Rising higher until the frequency burns. Taking the lessons the traveler learned. In the wreckage of the measure and the frame, nothing remains of the original name.
The river bends and free but never stays the same. It carves a crooked path through the shifting ancient game. The dust of desert stones is rising from the strings. An heavy iron weight that the system always brings. The cycle breaks at 6 and then it snaps at 5. In the jagged artery where the hunters feel alive, I tighten up the knot and I pull the wire thin. Let the desert rattle underneath my weathered skin. The pulse is uneven but the iron is direct. A crooked geometry that demands your full respect. We weave the silken thread through the thunder of the wall, waiting for the structure and the arrogance to fall. The rhythm is a fracture and the fracture in the key. Unlock the heavy gates of this grinding odyssey. I carve my name in stone while the meter starts to bleed, planting every syllable like a jagged poison seed. The hammer hits the glass and the glass begins to glow. A predatory current in a multi-layered flow. I track the uneven shadows across the shifting floor and kick against the hinges of a heavy copper door. The desert isn't silent, it is screaming in the gears. A mechanical vibration through the passage of the years. I breathe the heat and cover and I taste the coming rain. The architecture shatters but the foundations remain.
of crooked geometry that demands your full respect. We weave the silken thread, throws the thunder of a wall, waiting for the structure and the arrogance to fall. The rhythm is a fracture and the fracture is the key. Unlock the heavy gates of this blinding odyssey. I carve my name in stone while the meter starts to bleed, planting every syllable like a jagged poison. The hammer hits the glass of the gas begins to glow. Predatory current in a multi-layered flow. I track the uneven shadows across the shifting floor and kick against the hinges of a heavy copper door. The desert isn't silent, it is screaming in the gears. A mechanical vibration through the passage of the years. I breathe the heated copper and I taste the coming wave. The architecture shatters but the foundations remain. The pulse is uneven but the iron is direct. A crooked geometry that demands your full respect. We weave the silken thread through the thunder of the wall, waiting for the structure and the arrogance to fall. Rhythm is a fracture and a fracture is a key. Unlock the heavy gates of this grinding odyssey. I carve my name in